Abusia, yabema kwaba shonkoso eba POG Media so. Yademba political highway so highway ne de ensem bebre wo so a yenso ya je. Se yabema abidafo no ahu de eko ene de eba. Abusia na den na eko so ewo political highway so. Eye electoral commission abusia de opese ode NDC for no abusia enye asem ketua kwa. Na anu ada ena yade bremu se ekua donko echese waka enchine egu eye arewo semi pa na eye sa no jemensa ama eye omo print ballot papers no o ama suspend na echese wahye ekua donko party ne se wa ama 10 years se omumfa omo presidential candidate ne den emra na abusua adwempa EC boss wafa no eye ba akopɛ de opese oye ne se opese o change John Dramani Mahama ne position na ewo ballot paper no so no number 8 no echese EC ene NDC amanyoko no omo afọ mo ho adwen mo pese omo change Mahama ne NDC number 8 na abusua enye asemketo akwanti no the electoral commission adwen wafa no adwen pa wafa afa NDC for na we ena NDC Gǔrǔs ne so a strike se masa ehine ne ha yenti ase ne enti ase echina na ekua donko awu de efa number be na yesa osesa no ewo ekua donko wawu a masa ye kwakoto aba no number 8 no ye ni ane ye number 8 ye ntina ho ma mosesa ya aba ne entisa ya aba china enti no sisi ano emu aye din ya nkasa electoral commission na adwen awafa no NDC for so se omonti ase ne enti ase china Kevin Taylor aba the details na bre yensa mo bre ne be pese be me abidwafo no be me akona yakwakuti ensema efforts na ansa ne be kono owo ensem kan bi afahye the comment section mu like na share ma afofo so ensa into me enkabi APOG Media so medamase
for the statement about Bontene. It's exactly 7:39. Good timing. I'll be back after this short break. Now, you're the Jumadi no Ashishaso.
I'm penny Akuffo the head. That's one of my coy. I don't know. Maybe so. I don't know. Be a god of saying so. I'm going to get them saying so. Was he a god of saying what so? So I just say, I know so a cigar and say who quite. Say, I am no Cassay. Was cigar and say who quite am whatever year way. Or best I jay, I got so one crowd about Bawumia. I mean, to ye. If you said you were here, no, then Sakawi. And to make country, I want a day, and if Africa as a pay. I'm a Bawumia and Penny Mahama, so me kono. And a one young kono. One on the side, me, I'm at the way what Baba so sad and plan nine. And I say, brother, now, and so some many papa so. I better pay a busam and hen of a tear. Me can't know my saying, or Pamia come. Now, can't and I'm the two. Now, I'm saying, I can't tell what it was any part of Pamia come. And to a baby, some of that was a meeting here. A hen of one, I can't know my saying, into a Pamia come to say me, we are who are in the come. I'm at the way what Baba so sad.
If you don't quite catch them, or see Uwa, a Akuffo de Kuno. And from the statement from Chairman to me, the way they want the number a what ballot to pass on Santi, it is clear, say MP before the coup a Equadonco, and one no. MP before the coup, JB Dankwa, MP before the coup, John Kuma, MP before any coup, Eden, a ye Equadonco, case that. Yet Ghana, Edahon, Esso on Samoso. Yet Ghana, Esso in Samoso. Nanado Dankwe Akuffo any MP before Omudiu. Now, Mama Yanko Yenim, with Jack. Kevin Taylor will more dear, Messidia Macano, a Nima Famiko court. It's announcement Nana Mayano. Nanado Danko Kufuado, if you don't call the Kakachems or Penukuno, Uwa, Mumuse Kufuado. Yatiana Chema Utubeka said, Omobe change positions no, Omokuya don't call Omuya, Omobeku, Ayadian Apalu. By 2 weeks time, the Apaluso, Omekuno. MPP the coup John Kuma ebe sinde ye hu nipa oku John Kuma chairman wuntumi ene John Kuma ene dia confirm baako ye se chairman wuntumi Bawumia doctor de ene save no John Kuma de yen save no wuye de ya John Kuma wuye ena na pobo dam JB Dankwa ene ma Akuffo $50 million se onfanko contest campaign eno kaso penisika eno omosmaye emekuku eye den JB Dankwa sexy don police for chino ono na ni statement mu any video mo ka say John Kuma JB Dankwa wo no Akuffo de nim hu bi enti also tell us a part we no e yokunfu dumfu enti also tiasie bibia yedu now mama yanka electoral commission for ho asem na yenko yenim. Now this is a story I want to spend about 20 minutes on na mapon na makofie me na meyere na memma ai na sebio yanum nsupa enye galamse nsuo yedi eduane pa enye galamse nsuo ene yedi guso na sebio yada empapa so a sebio enye galamse ena yede yeye akwadedwa. Now EC has informed GFP to make arrangements to nominate a new candidate following the death of party's presidential candidate Ekuadonko. Ekuadonko ewu eman edien eye apalutiase onyame tie sufre. Now I say electoral commission no and the krata beto abontene say eye Ekuadonko party no omunyi eye dien flag bearer na eye print na print ballot papers no isi say omujai. Jemensa aji instructions the Free Jubilee House say Samoku Ekuadonko wi a me pese be fa kwan bi so na afi John Mahama number 8 no yesesa no na nkema John Mahama free 8 wo because breaking the 8 no de John Mahama be breaki binti ene Jane Mensa ni isi for say Ekuadonko ewu omo ma Ekuadonko party no be 10 days say omo fa flag bearer from mra ansana eye ballot papers na omo print ya maka be 10% ni ewie no omo toaso. I want to say this. The ballot papers near the koto abano about 90% ya print ewie. Now already easy for press release omo de ba abontene a mamenkan na mindwudwum na Ghana for ehu de eko. Death of 2024 presidential candidate Madam Ekuadonko, 29th of October 2024. I'm sorry, 29th of October 2024. Now, EC4 statement of the buyer and the Electoral Commission has today received information on the unfortunate passing of the presidential candidate of the Ghana Freedom Party (GFP), Madam Ekuadonko. May she rest in peace. While the 1992 Constitution and the Public Elections Regulations 2020 CI 127 are not clear on processes to follow in the event of the death of a presidential candidate, Article 54 of the 1992 Constitution provides as follows, and I quote, "Where at the close of nomination but before the elections, one of the candidates dies, a further period of 10 days shall be allowed for nomination." End of quote. The commission has since informed the GFP to make arrangements to nominate a new candidate and inform the commission accordingly. In the meantime, the commission has suspended the printing of presidential ballot papers, which was near completion. See, the last statement, almost say, in the meantime, the commission has suspended the printing of presidential ballot papers, which was near completion. Thank you. Samuel Tete, Deputy Chairman, Operations. Easy for say, Omate se eye Ekuadonko sebio watwa nananom ewon siedo na Ghana mrano sebio emra ebo omodwumadie no ho ban a 1992 Constitution eye emra kase a ebo Ghana ho no sebio emu eye emu baby ekire se ene electoral commission for so emra baby kire se sebio ewo se omo ka kire party ni se omo enadu omo ntumi mfa obi embehye Ekuadonko nan na emom omo kasa no omo se Ghana eye emra kase ne enhyeda eni emra poti bia edawa ekire de ewo se omo faso se obi a ope emampanyini edi a sebio ye beto aba no ofiri mu a na emom isi wo mra kuma bi a eda ho a sebio ye nyina ye betumi afaso na saa emra no ena mo fra no CI 127 2020 ena omode saa mra no ban no na saa mra no kire se obi epe franka anase omampanyina di na ye kwa akoto aba na se ofiri mu a party na sebio odi omonim anase oyo omo franka tufo no saa party no de omo ye ne se omo ma party no enadu na party no enyi nipa foforo na sebio omo ye den ombedi omonim no omo kotu den akantuo akansie no Na EC kasa no omo say eye papers a sebio yekoto eye enwo aba ma yehu bebia obi abeda no a ye rekoto aba no omo ankasa eba atoma no mutuo say eye papers a ye printed yakoto aba 2024 December ya aka ena eduasa 9 eduasa nkron no omo say papers ne de omo printed do na in fact omo chichemu eye oha chichemu a beye eduokron 90% de papers omo print wi a ekwadonko edin ene ne picture etare so na emom omo mbra ne kire se e wo se omo ma eye ekwadonko party no omo de omo ma party no eye akwanya ma se omo pese omo ma obi be hye ekwadonko nan a nipa no e be hye ekwadonko nan. Now sa asemu ya isi edi abe nipa anensa ehya ase no ye frɛ no eye Samuel Tete ono so ye another kromfo a owo isi. Now obi bebusa say na asema abe electoral commission sebio ye nyina ye nim say electoral commission a print election papers and a ballot papers edu be 90% no say asema si say ne say ye jai ballot papers ne printi na yama ekwadonko party no 10 days say omunyi den omunyi eye den another presidential candidate. Question e pese busa ne say enti 90% nkrata na isi a printi no sa nkrata bebrebe na yedi sika ne ink ya contracted different printing press mama printi no isi say ekwadonko party no eyi obia se omeye presidential candidate sa enkrata na ya print na yede eyede serial numbers nyina to so a yede credo ato ano no isi beto egu ana isi ebekoso ama ya print na ya koto aba. Na question also busa hono no say eya isi na nkasa mra no ede ne kafa eyede se obi wu ewo ede se all contest se obe president owu abra ye koto aba o kan eye CI 72 sorry CI 72 and this is it. Sorry, CI 75. CI 75. Where easy for nankasa emra. Okay, CI 75 na. Now 2012 and asambra we ye share no Ghana and no easy emra nibi. Almost say death of a candidate. Now, where an election is to be held and the candidate dies on the eve of the election and proof of the death of the candidate is given to returning officer before the commencement of the poll, the returning officer shall put on hold proceedings in relation to the election and inform the commission. Almost say easy say omumbra le kire say yekoto aba na say ebia enne ana ochena ana ada ye beto aba no say presidential candidate bi eden a ewu a ye see easy mra ne kire say e wo say officer na returning officer na ohwe sa aba so no and the Ghana ye ka returning officer of Ghana's election agent mensa ye to aba ni nyina ewi a returning officer of Ghana's election no agent mensa. So uba regional your returning officers but Ghana ankasa ye ka returning officer nipa ye de abani nyina besi de naso mane kinkan ni nyina ka bom e ka kire a Jane Mensa adukwe Mensa and a returning officer isi mrano eye CI 75 ne kire say ye koto aba na presidential candidate bi wu a e wo say nipa na oye returning officer ohwe abado so no e wo se ohodi abano no make sure say eye sa asem na yesi no ye betu anamon ansa na ya den ansa na yakoso ato abano. Now 2 no say the commission shall on receipt of information under the sub regulation 1 adjourn the poll and allow a period of 10 days for the political party to which the candidate belonged to nominate a new candidate. Inti mbrani kire say eye isi no ebe gina abano bebi ejina bia no na wa ma eye political party no inedu 10 days for that political party to elect a new flag bearer and then they can go ahead and conduct the elections. Now, my question here is what if say ekwadonko party no entumi enyi a presidential candidate? What if say MPP for we know will do everything possible from stopping Ekwadonko political party no from electing a presidential candidate or nominating a presidential candidate to come and contest no, what will be the next move of the EC? A question amibusa. Because when BB EC nankasa krata no almost a presidential ballot papers no almost printed 90%, meaning abano papers abano they are almost done in printing the papers. Because I will share documentation we are printing presses are almost printed around the nation. No, Oko back press Ashanti regional and Savannah. They have printed and basically they have even boxed all the papers. Almost printing paper nevi. Aka 3 numbers be on bishim. Almost party representatives at the locks in bami edi atwano. Technically, papers now Eko Ashanti regional and Savannah no. Back press no. They have printed about 95% over here. So as act commercials, upper west, upper east, almost about 90% presidential, print here. Oba InnoLink, almost print it. Oba checkpoint, print it. Fund start, print it. Yasaku, Sanko Fuena easy so cancel contract, no. Ghana Publishing Company. Into all these publishing companies are almost printed ballot papers, no. They have done about 90% of the presidential ballot. Meaning, about 90% of the presidential ballot, no, Ekuadonko enimdaso. Now, East say, Wama Ekuadonko party, no, 10 days. Ekuadonko party, no, any, anase omo nominate a new flag bearer. Na East, no, and take into one more. So the question to the Electoral Commission and say, so Ochina, Ekuadonko party, no, a flag bearer. Are we going to discard? And our papers say, print here we are almost 90%. Mwanga say, printing most of them, you know. Are we going to throw them away? And now can put Ekuadonko party, you know, the new flag bearer's face before we reprint all this ballot papers? Bima now. Just a question. Now, my mention the NPP 4% ye. My mention the Jane Mensa episode ye. My mention the next move of the NPP. Ekuadonko na omukunu no. They killed Ekuadonko because they wanted a ballot no. John Mahama number 89 the Ghana for nyina agatu no. Omo pese omo pe koti kwan bi so no mu change a ballot the number no. Na John Mahama free 8. Now this is what they are going to do. And Ghana for should be alert. Nobody should allow Jane Mensa and the EC. And they say ebasana election na yekotono or say say these people are bent on destroying our democracy. Because in any country Ekuadonko statistics from Baka Ekuadonko in our elections only 200,000 votes da. Ekuadonko is insignificant when it comes to Ghana's elections. And yes sir, this is the first time of Ekuadonko or contesting in Ghana's elections. This is the about third time a GFP party no air contesting. Now when you go back into history, the GFP and I say Ekuadonko party no, they have not made any significant inroads when it comes to numbers that can decide elections. Yet here and your call Supreme Court election 2020 and Chief Justice Enin Yaboane Tokonu Ekachire say NDC ana EC kra edi sa constituencies ni bi na yentumi ankan no kra beka NDC ho a it is not significant enough to turn over the elections, meaning that word significant, you know, it plays a very important role here. Now you come back to the first time Ekuadonko contested Ghana's election. When we go back to the first time Ekuadonko contested here to the last election we conducted in Ghana from 2020 and 2023, 2 times now, Ekuadonko has not gotten over 100,000 votes. Meaning, if today Ekuadonko party is out of the elections, or we leave Ekuadonko's picture to still run, at the end of the day, no, whatever Ekuadonko will get will still be insignificant. It will not change the outcome of the elections. Into reasonable Ghanaians, you know, at this point, we are looking at an EC that will be rational and reasonable enough to say, the number of voter NPP ekuta. Bawumia said the NPP made some significant inroads in 2020 elections, and that their number is significant. They can win elections, so it is very important we do this. But as we speak, Ekweadonko, since contesting Ghana's election twice, Ekweadonko has not even made 100,000 votes. Her inclusion in the elections, whether the candidate is changed or not changed, it will not affect the general outcome of the election. So changing or stopping the printing of the ballot, it's not necessary. And at the end of the day, Ekweadonko is not significant. I'm talking about Ekweadonko GFP party, their inclusion and also what they bring to the party, it is insignificant. It cannot change the outcome of the election. Because Ekweadonko, Sebio, with all due respect, if she was alive, she was not going to pull 100,000 votes. So a country where we have been able to print ballot papers, presidential ballot papers, about 90% of them. Why do we say if even Ekweadonko party and to me unfilled the Obia, we need to leave the papers the way they are and go into the elections. And then a reasonable person be Abeka. But let me tell you, the NPP, Jane Mensah, Bosman Sare, Tetemono, omni NPP for the coup Ekweadonko. The idea ni nyina say omo pese omo dane election no number 8 na John Mahama dane omo pese omo yi free ho omo pese omo find the way na omo yi John Mahama free 8 ho because omo nim say kiane kin Ghana for age John Mahama number 8 na tum and Ghana for nyina beto ma John Mahama na ma menchiro strategy a omo epese omo adapting. Now this is the strategy Jane Mensah NPP for pese omo adapting with this Ekweadonko demise. Now, Obi the EC Beko court, somebody will take the Electoral Commission to court very soon. Nipa no the EC Beko court no, Obeka check Ghana for say, or a concerned citizen, or the EC Beko court say, Omuyi Ekweadonko, the picture no free ho, say Ekweadonko unfilled it, and I say GFP. What I'm telling you is that the NPP will do everything possible to stop a Ekweadonko party from nominating a presidential candidate. Now, say Ebasana, another MPP person will go to Supreme Court and tell the court to say Ekweadonko party name to me any presidential candidate or say Ekweadonko party or more ballot paper or see a NPP for the Supreme Court. See, NPP for will do everything to stop Ekweadonko pathway from fielding a presidential candidate. Now, say omenya presidential candidate amba NPP for we have a nipa ba ko say onko court. No onko kanche court say Ekweadonko party no and to me amfa obi amba ambe she Ekweadonko 9 dia. And the I was set sa Ekweadonko baby oda no I will see a yini number ni free o yini free or not yes san numbers no. That is number 1. Now, number 2. Jane Mensah and EC, what they are going to do is almost be emergency IPAC meeting. Tie. Se nipa ne the assembly quarter. Jane Mensah, Bossman, omni MPP for an apalumube meeting. No free emergency IPAC meeting. Now, free emergency IPAC meeting now. 90% of NPP for now omo IPAC almost omo apalu ene sanko for makekano. They will all say they support the Electoral Commission say omo yi Ekweadonko party no free number 3 so whatever it is no. Now what is going to happen is say Isinibeka say that is what IPAC is saying, and that any political party at IPAC that will disagree should go to court for interpretation. Court one that ho osono maame. First of all, they will say Ekweadonko, they will stop Ekweadonko party from fielding a presidential candidate. Eba sana na obi de eye sa eye asem no akọ court. MPP for no obi de akọ court. Se di panel the EC court na EC afre emergency IPAC meeting. EC for emergency IPAC meeting now. They will make sure say MPP surrogates no more IPAC meeting because say yes, EC should take out Ekweadonko. Now, Omoka say EC should take out the Ekweadonko party in Friwa. Now, EC will say majority of IPAC no EPC say it is a political party now you don't agree. Obviously, NDC will not agree. A party are only reasonable to say Afafranto Alancash will not agree. And some other people who are, somebody like Hassan Ayaraga, I don't trust him. He will go with the NPP people. That's what he does all the time. He does business when it comes to politics. Now, the rational ones will disagree. And the easy will say, oh, per the vote, majority of the parties at IPAC are saying, they side with us. So we want to go ahead and take Ekweadonko out and do re-balloting or change the number now, Obia Wano. Then EC will say, any party that disagrees can go to Supreme Court. Now, Uko Supreme Court, Osrema Ami will be sitting there waiting. Tokonu, and Tokonu is an MPP communicator. So when you go to Tokonu will tell you, EC is right, and that you should go back in less than 24 hours, Thank you very much. In just 24 hours, Madam Tokonu will put a committee, a team together and decide on the case in less than 24 hours. Sir Jemensa, NDC Focal Court, seek interpretation for the actions of EC. Madam Tokonu will use less than 24 hours to put a group of judges together to say the EC is right and that the NDC should go back and listen to the EC. Because listen, when you look at Ghana's election, let me show you this. These are real facts. I'm sure facts you are. Look at these facts. The reason why it is not important for the EC to even touch the ballot paper. The EC should continue and print all the papers. Because Ghana's election, this is the election. When results now, results on the screen is a summary of the 2020 presidential election results without Techiman South constituency. Now, Ekweadonko party, GFP, Ekweadonko did not get more than 5,000 votes. Ekweadonko didn't get even 6,000 votes. The whole election now, in 2020, Ekweadonko got 5,500 people voting for her. So what should stop us from printing the ballot papers? Because Ekweadonko, whether we allow her in or not, whether they have a presidential candidate or not, her number is insignificant. And there is no way Ekweadonko can win elections in Ghana. It is also number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5, Ekweadonko, the summary of 2020 elections now, only 5,000, Ekweadonko, 5,574 people voting for her. So why is the EC stopping the printing? After 10 days, say Ekweadonko party to be a presidential candidate, it should stay the same. The EC should not try. Say they will touch the voting paper and say they want to change the numbers and the positions of any political party. Because Ekweadonko's political party does not add anything to the elections. So Ekweadonko 4 million votes. I can say yes, she can win elections. But Ekweadonko 6,000 votes in just 2020 elections. So why are we even stopping the printing? You just have to tell Ekweadonko party and say, you know something, we cannot do anything about it. When somebody votes for Ekweadonko, you can come and present somebody's name. But when somebody votes for Ekweadonko, the person is technically voting for a party. But you cannot say you are stopping the printing and that you are going to change the numbering and that because of Ekweadonko is very, very insignificant in Ghana's elections. Now, this is a typical example. Namapong, it's exactly 8:06 p.m. What we are experiencing today at EC and Ekweadonko Assembly, to make it very easy for you and to make it very rational for you, Namimpong show is simple. WAEC conducting elections, examinations. At the end of the day, there are so many students omuncho elections, exams. Obu oha no anyam wentumi ametro exams no. Obu oha wonya accident wentumi ametro exams no. Obu oha oyare serious wentumi antro exams no. Obu oha ye registration wie ye ma obia index number because WAEC say ye ba betro exams wasi no ye register student bia ema student bia de unique number your friend no desk and as index number. Now on election day, say a week to elections, na say school bi hu say student bi sebio wewu ana onyem. ana oyare seriously a ontumi mpo entra. WAEC does not take out that student's their index number. What happens is when they print the papers, they print the exams papers, those students, their papers are printed. The exams still goes on. WAEC does not say, because this student or yare, this student or nyam, this student with all due respect, want to try exams into the index numbers, we have to reprint all index numbers into. So 2 million students never try exams now. We need to go back and redo the index numbers. It does not work like that. WAEC still sticks by the principles. The index numbers stay, and people go there to write. Into exams, rooms desk na empty. Na paper daso, index number daso, because WAEC still recognize the index number. WAEC does not go back and reprint all the papers because nipa mienu ana miensa are not writing the exams. WAEC still goes ahead. Into WAEC printed 20 million papers because Kevin Taylor is not writing the exams, or because 20 students are not writing the exams from one school, we will have to change all the index numbers. WAEC goes on to print the papers, and what WAEC does is at the election day, on examination day, they bring out the paper, put the paper on the desk, that index number paper on the desk. After the exams, they collect those papers. So why is the electoral commissioner what printed papers do 90%? Say because Ekwedonkwewu. After 10 days, Ekwedonkwe party into presidential candidate amba, we have to nullify and change the ballot paper. That is evil. Ghana for nobody should allow this. So James and MP before try anything silly, we should let them understand we are the people. The NDC as a political party should not dare. John Mahama is number 8, and nobody at the Electoral Commission can change that. We are the people. The elections, we will have it. Baby Obia Peki and Bawumia the number 1, he will stay number 1. John Mahama the number 8, he will stay number 8, and that is what we are going with. Se Papa Anyashia. Boni enyashi. Ena eba me de beja Jemensa ene isi ni MPP. Se papa anko ka prede enke ka
ensama ekoso our political highway so aye Jane Mensa Ghana for any abre on so NDC for any abre on so opese osisa NDC amanyuko no omo number 8 na eno no adane entukwa Kevin Taylor or the Ebre yabedi abida for assess omoje pinekoputi sa audio we my POG Media so political trending stories make you listen no yenso yaji atum say yede mebrem medamase.